Guys, it's Cash, and tonight I'm going to talk about how the CIA is linked to Satanism. So I spoke before about how the CIA is linked to human trafficking. They're also linked to drug trafficking and child trafficking, but their religion is Satanism. So when you think of the CIA, what do you think of? What comes to mind? Okay, I know before I knew all this, I used to think of like something like a Men in Black type thing, like a nice suit and tie, maybe like an earpiece. I used to think of it as that. Well, now given what I know, it really could just be any regular old Joe Schmo off the street, covered in tattoos, just a regular person that you wouldn't even think that would be a CIA operative. You would probably be mortified if you knew actually who had spy and cyber stalking clearance in this country. It's a pretty scary thought. The CIA wants to get connected with everything that has any type of influence, any type of pull in America. So for instance, they're connected to the mob, and these people are Satanists. They have to be to do some of the things that they do to people without conscience. They go after influential people. So like I spoke about the hipster subculture. They want that subculture because they know that it's influential on people. And if they get those people, doing things, satanic or believing in Satanism and doing SRA and things like that, then it'll become more popular because the hipster subculture is what's considered cool. This is what they do to all these celebrities and these Instagram influencers and stuff. They're all pretty much contacted at one point or another, and musicians as well, by the CIA. The CIA is behind all of these programs, the Project Monarch, the MK Ultra that I talk about, these cults, my neighbors, these cults, they know what goes on in these cults. Satanic ritual abuse just kind of goes hand in hand with that. So the leader of the Satanic Church is Anton Lavay. And Anton Lavay has a background, before he became the leader of the Satanic Church, in criminology. So criminology in San Francisco. And he's also was an informant for Interpol. So remember I talked about Michael Aquino? He comes under Anton Lavay. And Michael Aquino is the psychological warfare specialist from the military. So Aquino started this whole psychological warfare strategy to use on enemies, but then they started using it here as a form of domestic terrorism. He introduced it to the people, to Satanists and stuff like that, and then they've adapted it, maybe as a means to control an enemy, just as a means to control anybody, really, because the long-term effects of psychological abuse are you get somebody kind of in an antisocial state, kind of in an isolated state where, you can easier manipulate them and control them. So, so this warfare campaign is pretty much run on anybody that's seen as a threat in the United States. So maybe whistleblowers, free thinkers, things like that. Just anybody going against the grain is probably a targeted individual and experiencing some sort of psychological manipulation, whether they know it or not. I was just blessed to wake up to this whole thing. So, what a lot of people don't know is satanic ritual abuse is still going on today with me. It's in the military as well. the military's religion is Satanism. So there were a lot of cases in the 1980s of this child molestation going on with the Army. They were molesting these children, and the kids' statements were being thrown out. They had this military daycare, and they were molesting the children of Christian and Catholic soldiers, and they would complain about it, and the kids would come up with confessions, and nothing was being done about it. And a lot of these military personnel, military agents, they refused to serve after that. I think it was called the Officers' Massacre or something, where all this stuff started happening and nothing was being done about it with the military daycare. And then that's when all these people just started quitting and stuff, and it just kind of turned over into this all satanic the military, man. The military is dark. Michael Aquino was behind this whole child molestation ring. And he was very adamant. He was almost like a dictator in the military. He was very adamant that everything be done, like the rituals, everything like that. He didn't want anything to do with Christianity, Buddhism, nothing like that. He wanted everything done rooted in Satanism. And he even wrote a chaplain's handbook that is in Satanism. So the military, their chaplain's handbook is centered around satanic beliefs. So, a lot of people don't believe that witchcraft is real, and witchcraft is what stems from Satanism as well. And everybody thinks that it's just like hocus pocus, and that, for a long time, and they've gotten away with this for a long time because nobody believes in it. You'll ask somebody about witchcraft and they'll say, oh, I don't believe in that stuff, but it is very real. And a lot of people are going to be very surprised, I won't be, when these when the celebrities kids get older in like 10, 15 years, all these kids celebrities are going to get older, and at least one or two, because they do take a vow of silence or whatever they do in these cults or whatever, they're going to start coming out about this satanic ritual abuse. There's going to be at least one or two. I can almost guarantee it, because in Hollywood, this is like, this is rampant in Hollywood. It's pretty dark there too. So it's pretty much just all over the world, not just the military. It's this whole pyramid right here, starting with Satan, secret societies, government, military. Then you got the doctors and lawyers, civil servants, and then us down here, the debt slaves, the mind controlled. But yeah, so it even goes with these Satanist cults too. Right here where I live, if a man is in a Satanist cult and he has a child or his children, those children belong to the cult. And the cult has grounds to perform rituals on those children, even if the person isn't really, doesn't really want it, because that person is in the cult, they're involved in that stuff, their child then belongs to the cult. Because that's just how it is. Like, who would want to live like that? Who would want to have kids and then have them be subjected to things like this for supernatural powers or whatever they're telling people, whatever they believe? It's just not right. So, because what happens with this, with these children is, through the satanic ritual abuse, the personality is fractured. So that's when the DID develops, the dissociative identity disorder, and that's what they do to control, especially families with money, like these royal families, richer families and stuff. They this has been tried and done. They purposefully traumatize their children to have control over them. Or if somebody's unruly, you know, maybe a family has a lot of money and like somebody's just unruly, not listening to the family, they have no problem going ahead and getting that person diagnosed like with a mental disorder or like schizophrenia or something like that. So they can say, oh, well, he's mentally ill, and, you know, take all of his assets for the time being until they regain control over them. This is a common practice of royal families, people with money, basically anybody that is involved in Satanism or the entertainment industry or anything like that. You know, once you're involved in it, you got to make sacrifices, and you're pretty much stuck. You know, you made a deal with somebody, and they want you to pay up. So that's just how it works. But yeah, so that's all I really have to say for today. Anton Lavay, Michael Aquino, spiritual warfare, psychological warfare. This has been done for a long time, guys. In Germany, the Stasi did this to people in Germany, in East Germany, to, you know, spy on people, invade people's privacy. So if it was done then, think about what they're doing now with the phones and everything like that. So that's all I really have to say for today. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their evening, and God bless.